take a trip to Chinatown coming like mid-January with my plant workshop group. We're going to go to Chinatown in LA. We're going to videotape. People in the studio don't know about this. We're going to be videotaping. We're going to be videotaping our trip to Chinatown, and we're going to be hopefully interviewing or at least talking to the people in some of the herb shops there. So it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience. Hopefully you all be able to join us on the next few weeks, and I'm happy that you're able to join us today. We have a special show today as well. So we're talking about herbs from the Americas, from China, from the Caribbean, and from Africa, and hopefully we'll get some information on Indian herbs and Ayurvedic medicine as well. I'll probably be the one talking about that because I'm very, very interested in that, and I've been doing some research. So yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon or evening, wherever you might be. So without further ado, we're going to welcome on Kanchan and Zappa. And I think Zappa, yes, oh, both of you are here. Great, yay. I can hear you. It's a miracle now. But they don't need any introduction. They've been on the show before. They have wonderful information to share with you. That, go back to our archives and check that show out, Survivalism. So we thank them for joining us today again. Hopefully we can kind of put in or bring in some information on indigenous remedies and indigenous as well as like a healing song. So I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so let's go ahead. So let me welcome Kanchan and Zappa. How are y'all doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks.
Great.
Good to be here.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you. All right, so we had a few questions, and I'm gonna open this show up. Talk about whatever you feel. Feel free to talk about whatever you want. We're not as restricted today as we are sometimes on the show. So, whatever comes to your mind. If you have any experiences that you want to share, please do. So let's first just kind of get an understanding of the Southwest. So what states are involved? What is this region like? What's the the climate? I mean, we know about it from just watching the news or watching the Weather Channel and things like that. But what is it really like living here? I can give my experience too, but let's go ahead. Kanchan, do you want to go first?
Oh, sure. Well, what I remember about growing up in the south of in Southern California, basically, and then every time we would travel in the summer across country, we would always travel across the Southwest to get to Virginia every summer. So I remember lots of red soil, desert, a lot of, scrub, bush, a lot of sage and low growing plants that were extremely drought tolerant, a lot of water preserving plants like the cacti and others like succulents and things that grew a lot of spines and spikes all over them. Exactly. So it's drier, right? It's drier. It stays warmer longer. Nights are a lot cooler, as it's traditional for the desert. And then what water there is in the southwestern, mainly drier desert regions, is very localized and very collected in a small area, or unless there's like a river of some kind running through, and then there's the higher deserts that I remember going in, much cooler, greener, stunted tree growth, things like that, but still more trees and green plants growing along the sides of the mountains and hills in those areas. And yeah, there's a much more, you know, can Google what Southwest climate looks like, but that's what I remember about it. It's trying to keep lots of lizards.
Oh yeah, lizards. What about you, Zappa? Do you have any?
Well, you know, I where I grew up, I wouldn't call it the Southwest really, because from Northern California here. So I was really going to kind of let you guys talk more, and just kind of here to chime in if I had anything too deep to say. The only thing I was thinking about was I did grow up in a more mountainous area, and mountains have different ecological temperate zones based on the elevation, and some of the higher mountain areas are very similar in to desert climates. So like some of the higher mountainous areas. So like if you were to be, say, looking for certain plants that you know of from the desert, and you happen to be in a kind of more mountainous environment, if you get up above a certain level, like up where the tree lines start to thin out a little bit, then you're kind of hitting, that kind of same kind of desert climate, and you would, in some cases, be able to find some of the same plants that you would find in a more lower elevation desert area.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize that. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, great. I'll just tell my quick little experience. So I grew up in South Carolina and lived in Georgia, in that area, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia. But I came out for grad school. I came to Tucson, Arizona, and so we drove across the country, and it's just amazing how the country just changes. Driving through Texas and New Mexico, like the sky just opens up and you feel like you're the only person in the world, seriously. And it's like a magical experience. And so I was like, just, so excited about going out here, and then, seeing Tucson, it was like totally just eye-opening experience, because I'm used to green flowers and trees and bushes with big leaves, and now I see these little tiny skinny needle-like leaves on almost every tree, and like you said, all those short low level bushes, and I'm like, what are these things? Is this thing dead or what? Like, because it was just so different. And everybody's yard, no one had grass in their yard. No one does have grass. There's no point to have grass. You have rocks, and that is the beauty of, we have different colored rocks, and you have different sizes, and you have different cactus growing out of the rocks. Like, that's the beauty of your yard. And so it's a beautiful experience, and the plants and trees, they're just amazing, really. Like, there's one, hopefully you'll talk about it a little bit, Kanchan, the Palo Verde, and how it has green bark. And I'm like, that is just amazing how how the plants adapt to this environment of drought, like you said, and of the different climate, how the climate changes at night. It turns, very, very cold. And then you have, I know in Tucson, you have like July through September or so, you have the rainy season, which they call the monsoon season. And so you get these huge, storms, lightning storms, and it's so beautiful. Everybody, I think, if y'all are out there on the East Coast, come out to Arizona, California, somewhere in the West, and just see that. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Go to the Grand Canyon. It might sound cliche, or it's amazing. You will feel like, I don't know. Humbled. Yeah, it's very humbled by the earth. It's no buildings around. It's no concrete. It's just you and the earth, and you do feel very connected. And I can see how, like, we also went to Sedona, and it's just amazing with that red clay, and it's an eye opener, that experience. So I'm very glad that we're able to do this show and talk about this and the plants that are out here, because they don't get enough attention, I don't think. So very, very happy that we can do this. Okay, so let's just jump right in here with your knowledge. What are the plants that we need to know, or what are your favorite types of plants that you that are native to this area? Tell us, like the common name. You can say the scientific name, what habitat they live in, and then like what do they use for medicinally, or are you cultivating them for food use? I mean, there's lots of different types of plants that are growing here, and we want to, get the listeners some information about the rich ecosystem that's out here. So go ahead, Kanchan, and then Azaki, please, if you have any additions, go right ahead as well.
Yeah, please chime in. I did make a little short list that I put on the Facebook event page, just so people can reference the information for later and do their own research. So the plants that I chose to focus on, are plants, of course, that I already know something about, have worked with over years, and but I think I'd like to start, since it's we're going into solstice, and it's becoming about to be the longest night of the year, and then the days start getting longer after that. And I always think about the start time when we move into solstice is time to go inside and and really just kind of clear up energy and move stuff along that you've been working with throughout the year, and make room for the new energies that are coming when the spring returns. And so you and I were just talking about this, Jennifer, before we started the show. And so I just want to jump right in and talk about cedar.
Okay.
That wonderful tree that makes those beautiful light gray-green sticky cones. The cones that have they're not leaves. So the way it's closed, it's not like most pine cones. It looks more like a sticky, fuzzy green-gray ball.
Yeah.
Very closed, tightly closed. A lot of essential oil, a lot of volatile oil, a lot of resinous, viscous sap flowing through that tree. And really, if you've never smelled cedar, and most people probably have, when you smell inside someone's closet, you might have cedar balls to keep the moths away, or cedar bedding for small animals or whatever. The strong, really piney smell, and it's a wonderful healing plant, as well as an aromatic for making things smell good. And it's used a lot around this time of the year because it has that sort of holiday smell to it. That pine, that cedar. So Jennifer and I were just talking about how we've been adding essential oil of cedarwood to our baths lately, and it's been really wonderful. And you should talk about your experience too, but it's amazing. Besides the fact that it's really useful in clearing energetic negativity, darkness. Native people have traditionally used dried bundles of cedar along with white sage and sweetgrass to help purify the sacred space for ceremony and that sort of thing. And you can also use it topically on your skin, mixed with olive oil or in a salve. It's helpful to help clear up eczema. It's antiseptic, so if you have a cut that's getting infected or you don't want to get infected, you can use a mild application of cedar wood mixed in an olive oil or a salve or what have you. Antispasmodic, so it's really calming. It helps to relax the nervous system. There's so many benefits. It helps to bring on a sluggish menstrual period. So if you're having really bad cramps, you can probably just rub some on your womb area outside of your body, or just inhale it. It'll probably help bring it on. The essential oil. Yeah, and of course, because it's so aromatic and it has all of those terpenes inside, it's going to be really good as a steam. You can put some drops in hot boiling water, turn the fire off, and cover the water with your head and underneath a towel, and just breathe in the cedarwood steam, and it will help to loosen phlegm, and if you have to cough but it's dry, it'll help to loosen whatever's in your lungs to bring it up. And so many uses. I put it on the short list on the Facebook page. Please go and look at the whole thing and find out what it's really all about. But really, it's just amazingly calming and energizing at the same time. So I love cedar.
Right, yes.
And that's something that grows. It's definitely native to the Southwest, oftentimes in the higher desert regions. But look for that cone that's tightly packed. It's almost round, and it's light gray green, and it's a really sticky kind of fuzzy texture, not brown and dry like other coniferous trees. So
Mhm.
that's one.
Mhm. Yeah.
And yeah,
Real
go
quick,
ahead.
yeah. So we were talking about the cedar, and I was saying that I got some cedar wood for a burner, so you can also use it in a burner as well, and it's wonderful, and it mixes well or blends well with other more traditional aromatherapy type flowers or essential oils such as lavender.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, it's very grounding as well, like you said. So it's wonderful. Try it. And it's interesting that you're talking about those cones, because we're gonna have to actually do another a show on like Eastern plants and herbs as well, because I'm making a lot of connections. It'll be good to make connections to see, you know, how different or how similar plants and herbs are on both, you know, East Coast and West Coast, because I'm sure there are plenty of similarities, but it'd be interesting to talk about that as well, you know, down the line. But this comes to my mind right now. Okay, sure.
I agree.
You can go ahead.
I had a question for both of you guys around that. I mean, I was doing a little research on the stuff, you know, the plants that are have medicinal uses around here. And a lot of times when you see stuff listed, it'll list, you know, plants that have medicinal value, but not necessarily how to use them. Or, you know, if like some things obviously you can use topically, and some things you can ingest, and some things you can kind of steam. You know, but how do you know if it's okay, say, to ingest something? Like, if something is okay to put on topically, would it also be something that you could make a tea out of? Or, you know, if you're like, say, you know, back to the kind of survivalism thing, if you didn't really have the means to prepare one of these something, is there an all-purpose way you can use these kind of medicinal plants, or is each one different in that regards?
That's a really good question. No, it's super important. That's clear for sure. Did you want to go take that one?
No, sure.
Jennifer?
If you have an answer already, go ahead, and I'll add on.
Well, it's in the case with cedar in particular, that basically most medicinal out in the wild can be prepared as a fusion of like soda water. You're adding this fresh plant material to the water, and you're going to be drinking a mild to mildly stronger concoction of it. And so, you know, if you have the means to boil water and can make a tea, that's a really good way to do it. If you're, you know, because you can't really make essential oils unless you have all the proper equipment. But you can also, a lot of these plants can be eaten raw. Definitely encourage everyone to look up, you know, different ways to prepare cedar cones. I know there's some cones that you can actually eat the nuts and seeds of, like the pinon pine is like pine nuts out of that. And then cedar tree leaf, the needles of the tree are easily taken raw, especially the young green ones. So yeah, there's lots of preparations. I think everyone should have a really good handbook about what plants grow in their area. So if you're ever out there, you know, you just have like a quick reference to pull from. But yes, and you just, I always say just do tons of research, because your questions will be answered. And then go experiment a lot.
Yeah, I would say.
Do you think it's safe to experiment with if you know that it's not, you know, poisonous and has some medicinal value?
Exactly. Never eat anything you have no idea about.
Right.
Don't put anything in your mouth you don't know.
Exactly.
So, I definitely encourage people to make short lists. You know, I mean, just like every week, I like to have 5 different plants that I've learned in that week, and I've studied and tried. And it's either stuff I'm growing or stuff I go and buy at the herb store, and try it out and learn about it as I'm trying it. And, you know, experiment that way. So then I just keep adding to my my list, as it were.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, but if you're talking, I agree with everything Kanchan's just said. But if you're trying essential oils, most of the essential oils that you're buying, from I guess a grocery store, a health food store, or like a spa type place, those you should definitely not take internally. Those are not for internal use. But I mean, we all know that because it says it on the bottle. But there are some that you can take internally because they are pure and they're expensive. And there's one website, actually, it's called youngliving.com, and they make essential oils that are therapeutic and ingestible. So, but they're probably 30-40% more expensive than the ones you buy at a regular store. But that's the reason why, because they're not cut with any type of chemicals. They are pure. And it takes, like you said, a lot of supplies and a lot of effort to make one drop of essential oil from a plant. So that's why you get those small bottles. But anyway, so yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, so you see that you might see out there that essential oils are not for internal use, but there are some that can be because they're they're not dangerous. So any part of the plant, well, I won't say that anyway. I won't say that all of them can be used. But someone's posting some things on the chat room. We're going to get to the chat room at the end of the segment. So Kanchan, you want to go on with your next list?
Sure. So the other another plant that I'm actually exploring right now. I'm learning about it. I've actually never used it, but it sounds amazing. And it's said to grow in moister places in the southwestern region. So places where it gets a little more wetlandish, or maybe it's a little higher up near streams and creeks, is a plant called Yerba Mansa. And it's the botanical name is Anemopsis californica. So that tells you right there that it's native to the state of California, most specifically in the southwestern region. I've actually also seen it in the northwest Zappa, by the way. You've probably seen it too. I'll post a picture up in a second. But so what I'm learning about this plant is it apparently is very close to golden seal in its properties. So if you know about golden seal, you know that it's a very strong antibacterial, antimicrobial, so it's antiseptic, and it's all these other things. It's like considered to be one of the strongest plants to cure any viral or bacterial infection you have in your body. So because golden seal has been over wildcrafted, and it's becoming more of an extinct plant, people are being encouraged to grow it themselves rather than harvest it in the wild. And so Yerba Mansa is being pointed to as an alternative to golden seal because it has very similar properties, and it's so good for,
or because that's like the main.
It has
berberine.
What does it have? Berberine?
Yeah, no, like barberry and golden seal. They have the berberine, which is that yellowish color, and strong antioxidant.
Oh, okay.
I'm asking.
Tell
I don't know
about
much
it.
about.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know much about Yerba Mansa.
Turmeric and
like that. But
it does. I mean, I haven't harvested. It's the root that you definitely use the most of.
It probably is. Yeah,
that's probably true.
Okay,
and
great. That's good to know.
But it has very similar properties, such as reduces inflammation, and great for a sore throat. It's great to use the minute you feel you're getting sick.
I have nightmares from golden seal. From when I was a kid, that's what my folks used to use, golden seal. But when I was sick, they put it all over my face, and it's supposed to dry that sickness out. But it kind of I swore it off for life after that. So I'm glad to hear there's an alternative, huh?
Yerba
Mansa.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, the things our
no
parents
did
to us when we were sick.
I can still smell the smell in my good thing.
That is interesting. This is better than
my kids tell the same story.
Oh no.
Yeah.
As soon as somebody comes home from school and they're like, so-and-so has a stomach flu and throwing up all over the class, and I'm going to get sick. I just know it. I'm like, okay, well, you don't want to get sick, so you get to drink this. And I would stir up half a teaspoon of golden seal into a cup of boiled water and make them shoot it down like a glass of whiskey.
Oh, no.
There was no getting sick.
Oh,
But they
wow.
don't. Now they hate it, though.
Yeah.
You learn to not mention anything after a while.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so there's other things. So you can use them.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
We're learning something today. Good. So yerba mansa is next. And I think
Yerba
I've-
mansa.
Yeah, I think I've seen yerba mansa as a tea, like, you know, on the shelves in some health food stores. So, you know, if you can't get it,
Sure.
fresh or dried, try to see if your stores have it. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. They're fully available. Yay.
All right. What's next? I'm excited now.
Zappa, you got anything
Yeah.
you want to share?
You go ahead, Kanchan.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I'm soaking
so
in the
fun.
knowledge this time around here.
Oh, right on. I'm posting pictures up on the Facebook page of all the different things we're talking about.
Great. Thank you.
Just because I think it will help.
Are you talking about any of the cactuses?
Yeah, let's talk about
Right.
prickly pear.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that. That's beautiful. So we have this huge one here at Spiral Gardens. It looks a lot like, well, it doesn't look as dense as the picture you put up.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but it's got fruit on. Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
They have so many.
It's huge.
It's huge. Yeah, they have like 4 of those all in the yard.
Nice.
It's like a wall.
Good security.
Oh yeah.
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 It's amazing. Well, I mean, I don't need to be the only one talking about Nepal, but you know, I love it. I mean, I love to eat it. I love the fruit, and I think it's really, really soothing to eat it. Like, it's soothing on your intestinal digestive system because of all of the mucilaginous, constituents inside the plant, the pad, and but then I'm just learning, honestly, that there's all of these reasons why people who are struggling with either diabetes or cholesterol or blood pressure or whatever, it's better to eat larger amounts of nopal because it helps to metabolize sugars better. And so I put a link up to the article I found, but it's apparently it's coming out that there's all of these health benefits. And I think there was someone in the chat room that was asking about it. And I don't know. I just think it's really delicious. It retains water in the desert, so it doesn't need water. It's a great water storage plant, which is kind of a pun. That's what it is. And I know the fruit is just really high in all kinds of nutrients and health benefits besides tasting really good. It's got lots of seeds in it, which is probably excellent for your intestinal tract for helping to clear out and yeah, exactly, push through any buildup that's inside you. And it just makes a delicious makes really great tacos.
Oh no, not the tacos. Ooh.
You don't like them?
No.
Don't like them?
No. I'd rather eat the jam. But
the green part of the plant, the green
part.
part.
Okay, maybe so.
Yeah, that's just savory.
Okay.
It's savory, and then you can saute it with. I'm not the authority, but I've just eaten them. Saute it with other, cilantro and onions and. No, it's a vegetable. It's kind of like okra a little bit, but it's a really good condiment. You can add it to other things like meat or other vegetables, and it's just fun to eat. It's kind of slippery, but not too slimy, and it takes on the flavor of whatever you cook it with, and just a satisfying kind of feel in your mouth, and just good for it feels good going down too.
Okay, so you're talking about the leaves instead of the actual prickly pear fruit. Okay, because I haven't really...
Yeah, the fruit
Yeah. Okay, so that's probably the difference there. I mean, I think the fruit does have some medicinal use as well. It's probably high in, anthocyanins or whatever because of its red color. But
Yep.
uh-oh, let me got some problems with the Could you hold on one second? We got issues with the computer
Yeah.
here. Oh no. I think we lost the feed on. Oh, can you guys hold on a second? Sorry.
You take your time. That's fine.
Okay. It's okay. Okay. Uh-oh. Well, someone heard around 3:35 in the chat room.
Oh, but they can't hear us.
It was like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, 5 minutes ago, I think we lost the feed. So
Computer, man.
Oh no.
computer's
I think it might have been
overheating or something.
It restarted.
I had the hard boot. I had to restart it. It froze up. Everything just froze up.
What kind of course is this?
Are you still able to talk to them?
Yeah, they're on there.
Oh,
They can
is it
hear
water
everything.
cooler?
Oh boy. Seems like every computer in here was kind of slow today for some reason.
It was actually doing that last night,
Oh.
where things were moving kind of, well, at least on that one, this one right here.
The video card's coming. Catching up right now, so it might just be too hot.
Can you ever talk through Google Chat?
Oh yeah, we still on the broadcast? I'll turn this off.
It's not getting any audio because the computer was not. Actually, it's up. It should be back up now getting audio. You see the green light on the audio thing?
Well, yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll be back up in 20 seconds.
Okay, 20 seconds.
Hello?
Yeah, we'll be there in like a second or two because the computer had to be restarted. So.
Different call there I was taking, so wasn't sure if I was still on here.
Oh yeah.
I'm just chatting with people.
Okay.
Hi.
I'm up here in the woods.
Oh,
and
they
we're
can
having
hear
all
us
kinds
now.
of technical
Okay,
stuff.
great. Sorry about that, guys. We had a
Right.
little technical difficulty with the
Hey.
computer. We're back up now. Okay, so like we were talking about prickly pear. So I always just considered the plant, the nopal cactus being just the edible part being just the prickly pear. Now that's just my ignorance, and I should have known that the whole plant probably is edible, but they do use the prickly pear fruit for jams and sauces and all kinds of stuff, right? I'm sure. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
it's really big in the desert areas. So
You just eating them plain, right?
yeah, eating it plain. Yeah, take all. It has a million literally spikes on it. That's why it's called
Yeah,
prickly pear.
you know.
Yeah, you gotta use gloves.
Yeah, gotta use
No.
gloves. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, great. That's something I didn't realize that you can actually cook with the leaves as well. So great.
What about like applying cactus type stuff topically for like scrapes and stuff like that? It's something I always thought you could do, but I've not.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, similar to comfrey or aloe vera, things like that nature. It's probably got a lot of, really good topical skin healing properties. Which think about things that are mucilaginous. But it's mild, and if you can eat it, you can definitely put it on your skin. It's good for sunburn. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and anything less intense,
Right.
probably
Yeah.
too. And then I know that when you do use the prickly pear pads, the leaves, you want to, when you eat them, you want to get the ones that are no bigger than the size of your hand. And probably the bigger ones are better for topical healing
I see. Okay.
purposes, right? Because you don't want to
Yeah.
eat those.
Okay. That's okay. So that same concept kind of can be translated to our zucchini. We had we had these zucchini and they got so big, and I
Right.
watched some video or something somewhere, and they said when they get really big like that, they start to lose that flavor, that those they put the energy. I don't know how it actually works, but basically they don't taste as good anymore when they get really big.
Right.
So it's kind of the same.
Yeah, you have to do
concept.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I think the pads get a little more fibrous
Hard
when
to
they're bigger
digest.
and
Okay.
harder to chew and digest. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Nice. All right. Okay. There's other people doing things
Yeah.
in the studio, so sorry about that.
It's okay.
All right. So anything else on your list? I know you had a longer list. Let's see if we can get some.
Oh
some
yeah,
more on there.
I was trying to shorten it a little bit. There was a couple of other things. I think what I did was I actually ended up picking a lot of plants that grow closer to the water or to wetter parts of the Southwest, and things like cleavers and cow parsnip doesn't really need to be next to the water. And then one of the more drier areas. Oh, I did put a link up. Actually, I wanted to talk about salvia, because there's so much salvia, and I think I put my little link up there because I didn't know if we were going to get to really talk about it, because that's something you can really find a lot of in the Southwest is salvias, all the different types of native sage.
Okay.
In particular, white sage, which is one of our favorite, used by Native people for thousands of years for all manner of healing. I mean, everything from cleansing spiritual sacred space to gargling as a mouthwash for mouth infections, tooth infections, gum infections, sore throat. I mean, you can use it as an internal douche for like any kinds of women's issues where a natural discharge is taking place. I mean, it's just it's a healer. It's like a major master healer plant. So, I mean, even if you just burn it in your space and inhale the smoke of it, can have very cleansing and healing effects on your lungs, in your mind. It can help calm your nerves. Can't even begin to the list of properties is right. I mean, it's so long and so it grows abundantly, usually in the higher regions of the Southwest. It also grows around the North Coast as well, and in the drier parts of the mountain ranges of the North Coast. But yeah, easy to find, really aromatic, super beautiful and smelling amazing. And then there's all these different kinds of animals that all the different types of salvias attract. Besides hummingbirds and bees, you get all kinds of cool butterflies and spiders, really beneficial spiders, little tiny ones that live inside the calyx is where the seeds are eventually form. So that I wonder, I sometimes think of those little spiders as like seed farmers to help the plant, to protect the seeds so that it can drop some more to make more of itself, to propagate itself. And so every time I collect seed from a salvia, there's always like 100 little tiny different types of spiders coming out of the calyx. Is super cool. And I'm like, oh, there's a little house in there. I won't take all of it, just leave stuff. But yeah,
the whole city in there you just picked.
Yeah.
Right. That's just the right size for them, and I think of them as like protectors of the seed. So it's any kind of, so I definitely take a look at that list from lasvilatas.com. It's a nursery in Escondido, and it's got a whole bunch of different salvias that show that, it shows pictures and videos of all the different ones, and it's a good guide if you ever want to go out and find some of them on your own. There are also a lot of salvia around the Bay Area and the North Coast as well. Zappa, do you know? Are there any that you see around there a lot?
There definitely are some up here. I'm not sure the particular variety. I usually the smell, the salvia smell is a beautiful smell, and that's mostly there's some stuff I just like to kind of walk around and pick just to smell it, but I'm never sure exactly what you can use it for beyond that. But it's definitely something that the fragrance is attractive, and there are some in this area, especially along the coastlines.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot up there.
The smell
And the
is
leaves. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just saying the smell is enough for its own, its own powers.
It's true. Yes. Do you have a
It
favorite?
makes sense. You were saying it kind of helps clear out your lungs and stuff if you burn it.
Yes, it does.
Kind of makes sense. Yeah.
And then if you know it's a
also make
salvia,
a tea out of it.
yeah, I was going to say if you know it's a salvia, you can make tea out of the leaves and the flower tops. They're great for anxiety. So if you're feeling nervous or tense, that it'll really help bring you back to your center.
I was about to say that I feel like I've just heard it associated with a kind of a possible high or something, but I wasn't sure if it was the same thing or if
Yeah, I think
or if you need to be careful with that kind of a thing.
More calming, I would say, than yeah, I think more calming, similar like to catnip and things like that. For tea, yeah, it's a relaxant, a very gentle relaxant. And yeah, you can also use it for your hair too, because I use it in my my hair products as a rinse because it's good for anti-itch and anti-dandruff, for your hair too. So it's really good to mix with rosemary because rosemary helps with anti-graying of your hair. So getting all those nutrients from those two plants for your skin and hair is wonderful.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I love sage.
Beautiful.
So it's so interesting. Like, God, how can the plant have that many, uses for us? It's just amazing. Really, really amazing. And I'm glad you brought up the Native Americans and how they used it for thousands of years because sometimes we forget that, a lot of the plants that we talk about in, I guess, Western herbalism are basically Native American. And, they're the ones who told us about it. So, basically that's a lot of the herbs that we talk about on a daily basis on this show and, just in general are all Native American. The uses for them are all from that tradition, from those traditions. Yeah,
they figured out a lot of stuff long before.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I was saying they figured out a lot. Yeah. I saw something where they were saying how folks were using mold from tortillas as a form of penicillin for like thousands of years before we ever had any idea about penicillin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. From corn, molds from corn. Yeah.
Yeah, from tortillas. Yeah. I mean, I guess probably corn. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's it all comes from the plants. It's the original source of everything. All the earth gives it all up first.
Right. So. It's recycling basically. It's dying.
Yeah.
It's a whole cycle there. That's interesting.
Well, the last thing about yerba mansa that I learned since we're on this subject is that, research that's been done on the plant and where it grows shows that it was actually one of the first cultivars actually planted on purpose by native indigenous people. Thousands of years ago, they started actually actively collecting it, saving, harvesting the roots and replanting it intentionally so they'd have enough to use for medicine. I thought that was lovely. That needs it work.
Yes. It wouldn't be
probably good
time
for
and
us.
effort. Yeah. No time and effort.
It's probably not the only one.
Right. Yeah.
There's so much more.
It was one of the first. Okay, that's good. Great. All right. Do you have any last? Let's see. Let me go to the chat room and make sure there's a few questions I know. Do you have any more on your list? you want to make sure you get in today? Because we can.
I think I got.
Okay.
Yeah, I just posted it on the page, and I thought I think that's a good start. Unless
Okay.
folks have more questions, but there's so many more. I'm glad we talked about salvia and nopal, though. That was really important.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's one more that probably people should think about is mesquite, the mesquite tree.
Oh, yay. yes.
Wonderful.
Oh.
It makes nuts. You can actually grind them and make food out of it, like tortillas. And you reminded me of that when you said tortillas. Oh my God, mesquite flour.
Yes.
you
yes.
can make stuff
There you go.
out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there.
Isn't that also used for firewood too if you dry it out?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Places where you don't have where there's not a lot of trees.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's where a lot of our mesquite grilling coal comes from. It's where, but yes, it's very prolific. If you go down south, like to the Sonoran Desert, or you can find mesquite trees everywhere and pick up the wood. But it's like the nuts you want for the flour.
Yeah, there was a community organization in Tucson who, like every I think Sunday morning, they would make mesquite pancakes, and you can just come.
Yeah.
You can come and have some mesquite pancakes. I was like, oh my God, this is great. Yeah, so you can make the
pretty cool.
flour. You can use it in flour and pastry type foods.
Yeah,
it's wonderful. I love stuff like that. Real quick, I'm gonna post some more pictures. I thank you for reminding me, Kanchana. So I work with citrus plants, and we study different diseases that affect citrus. But
Hi.
And as you know, California and Florida are the two big citrus growers. But
Right.
So I was out at work one day. We're taking a walk with me and one of my coworkers, and we come across, we're at this different site. We come across this little tiny like botanical area with these different plants, and they all have, the placards that show you or tell you what type of plant it is, kind of like a little botanical garden. Right. And so I have lots of pictures. I'm going to post them on Facebook as well, and hopefully somewhere else so that other people can get to it. But I'm going to post some pictures, and I'm showing right here, if you're on the YouTube, I'm showing one of the pomegranates that we have, and you see how big this thing is. It's probably like the size of, I don't know, a little bit bigger than a baseball. It's huge. So pomegranates grow out here too. If you're on the East Coast and you go to the grocery store, pomegranates are going to cost, even out here in California, they cost a lot. And so, grow a pomegranate tree. They grow pretty well out here. So that's one thing too. Pomegranates and figs grow really well here. These are really nutritious foods that we can use. Like pomegranate juice, or the seeds, are really high in antioxidants. Figs are really great for constipation and things like that too. So good stuff. And of course citrus out here. Lots of citrus trees. And it's interesting to learn, being out here, I've learned that a lot of the citrus actually produce fruit in the fall and in the winter, more so than in the summer. I didn't realize that, because on East Coast, I guess it's the opposite. I don't know, but that's something interesting that I had learned being out here.
Citrus definitely more winter time. I was just thinking about that. Like, might be an interesting thing to look at stuff that's more wintertime kind of stuff, because there's less a lot of the stuff we're talking about is probably spring or late fall.
Yeah. Let me go to the chat room here. Talks about prickly pear. Yeah, they're saying that it's used in a lot of anti-aging products. I didn't realize that.
Good to know.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay. I'm sure. Well, yeah, like you said, it's very high in the mucilage, so it's probably helping with the wrinkles. It's a topical thing. Let's see. You read that even with treated water, you should boil before using a neti pot. Okay, for drinking, if for sinus cleansing, may use infections. I think we were talking about the safety issues with taking herbs. Okay, so definitely make sure you're using clean water. or boil the
Yep.
water. Let's see. Black women have a strong
Makes
feeling
sense.
about the hair when it comes to growth. Okay. Oh, castor oil for hair growth. We're gonna have to talk about that on another show. Sorry.
Yes, the hair growth show. I need to learn about that myself.
Oh.
What really works here?
Yeah.
Castor oil mixed with what were you saying? Rosemary and
Sage and
sage.
rosemary.
And sage.
Okay, yeah.
Rosemary.
Try it.
Quick little
Yeah, mix it up.
try it out.
Let's see. Oh, someone said that their aunt used to bring back yerba mansa from Arizona when we were sick, but they knew it as swamp root. Okay.
Right.
So you said, yeah, it grows more closer to more wet areas,
Mhm.
right? Okay.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
makes sense.
I kind of remember that name.
Swamp root. Okay.
That's awesome. Nice.
Let's see. Oh. Okay, I think that's about it here. If there's any, pomegranate. Oh, right, yeah, exactly. The pomegranates, they weren't in the news until we actually started learning about their health benefits.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of obvious, but other people like the native people knew about all these things, and as soon as there's some scientific study out there, then that's when it's all in the news. Everybody wants the pomegranate juice, this and that, or whatever, the palm juice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
What's
Yeah, that
what's
always
trending?
amazes me how there's all this knowledge is out there, and people already know it, but then
Exactly.
it takes some scientific study for people to accept what was already known.
Exactly. All the stuff
Right.
is
Come on now.
all of our knowledge. It's just hidden from us until
Right.
yeah.
So I always like to tell people, like, if you're eating something and you feel drawn to eat something, and you crave something, like especially if it's healthy for you, start eating it, and then go figure out what's in it while you're feeling that pulse. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to find out that it's something your body was specifically asking for a specific reason that you already knew about. And it's always fun. That that way you get to be your cutting edge information source. Your body already knows. So if you find yourself having that experience, go jump on the research right away.
Yeah, there's this perfect example to that. Like I didn't really crave this taste because it's not a good taste, but we went to like a Chinese grocery store in Orange County, and we were just looking at the tea aisle, and so I just picked up this tea and was like, I'm gonna try this tea. And so something drew me to this. It had no writing on it or anything. It was all in Chinese, but it said, what was the first word? Something wall tea. I think it was black wall tea. And and I looked it up, and it has all these different herbs in it that I don't know. They're all Chinese herbs, but almost all of them were helpful for my digestion and for rashes and itchy skin, which is what I was going through a few months ago with eczema. And so I was like, wow, you know what? My body just told me basically to buy this. I had no, there was no understanding of anything. It was just all my own intuition and intent, and gotta embrace those things. Yeah, really embrace it. Don't be scared of yourself. You know what you need.
Right. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You know exactly what you need.
You're the authority.
Yes. Yes, you are. Exactly. Wonderful show. Thank you so much for being on. Really, really appreciate the information. I'm glad it was, sorry about the technical difficulty there. But you guys gave great information. We do. I don't know who did that. Somebody in the studio. It wasn't me, but thank you. Really appreciate you being on, because this information was not given to us, as children, and it's never too late. But I feel like we gotta do our part, and thank you so much for doing yours and doing the research, giving it to us straight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for making a space for Black and brown voices to share this information that's pretty heavily co-opted. So
Exactly.
thank you. Thanks for making the space for this. Appreciate that.
Take it back.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Great. Well, stay tuned for some great music and poetry on, and don't miss out on the next few shows we're having this week. So Tuesday is going to be the audiobook. Wednesday is Not for Hire show. Wednesday is Christmas Day. Thursday is okay. Sorry. So Christmas Eve, I guess. And then Friday is a Black Book with Brother Phil, and hopefully he'll. I don't know if he's doing a repeat show that day or not, but stay tuned for all of our shows. We really appreciate y'all for supporting Newbiehood Radio, and have a wonderful weekend. Peace out.
Happy solstice.
Yes, happy solstice. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get the music on. 1 second. Enjoy some of the Native American tunes, hopefully from the Cheyenne. It's coming up in a second. And I'll try to post it as well.
Yep.
All right. Peace, everyone.
Cool. That was good.
That was rough.
Everything
Well, I
else?
like the system.